Welcome to this session on Modbus protocol. The main objective of this session is to learn the basic of a Modbus protocol. In the topic to be covered, introduction about the Modbus protocol version, RTU framing, and the response of the Modbus protocol. So Modbus is a data communication protocol which was originally published by Modicon, which is now the Schneider Electric, in 1979 for use with its programmable logic controllers. This is the messaging structure widely used to establish the master-slave communication between the intelligent devices. So a Modbus message sent from a master to the slave containing the address of the slave and the command to the slave to read or write the data and a checksum, that is the LRC or CRC. Since Modbus protocol is just a messaging structure, so that is why it is independent of the physical layer. It is not dependent on the physical layer. So it is traditionally implemented using RS-232 protocol or RS-422 or RS-485. These are all known as a serial communication methods over the physical layer by using the 2-wire or 3-wire communication. So Modbus is used widely by many manufacturers throughout many industries. This is the typical used to transmit data from control instrumentation to a logic controller or a system for archiving data. For example, in building automation, the temperature and humidity are often communicated to a computer for a long-term storage, and Modbus is often used to connect a supervisory computer with a remote terminal units in supervisory control and data acquisition systems. This is a general structure of a Modbus protocol, the implementation of a Modbus protocol, where we have one master which continuously sending the request to a slave, and dependent on the request, slave send the response to the master. So after each request, slave respond, and that response is read by this master and the respective work done by the master as per the program developed for that. Since this is the 2-wire communication or also known as the 3-wire communication if we consider the ground wire, so on these wires we can connect near about 32 slave devices on a single channel. Here this is the example of the Modbus implementation where the computer is connected to the Modbus by using USB to RS-485 converter, and the output of this converter having 3 terminals, that is terminal number A, B and the ground, and in some cases it is also mentioned that D plus and D minus. So on a common bus the number of devices are connected, and all these devices are configured with the different slave addresses. Means on a single loop there should be only one device with one address. Every device should have the unique address on a single loop or single bus. Next is the limitations of this Modbus protocol. Since Modbus were designed in late 1970s to communicate to the peripheral logic controllers, so the number of data types is limited to those understood by the PLCs at that time. So the large binary objects are not supported in case of a Modbus protocol. No standard way exists for a node to find the description of a data object. For example, to determine whether a register value represents a temperature between the 30 and 175 degrees. The third limitation, since Modbus is a master-slave protocol and there is no way for a field devices to report an exception, means the master node must routinely poll each field devices and look for change in the data, and this consumes the bandwidth and the network time in the application where the bandwidth may be expensive, such as over a low bit rate radio links. What it means? Uh, Slave is going to be respond only when master is going to send the command to the slave. There is no communication from slave to master in this Modbus protocol. So Modbus is restricted to addressing 254 devices on one data link, which limit the number of field devices that may be connected to a master station. Then Modbus transmission must be continuous, which limit the types of the remote communication devices to those that can buffer data to avoid gaps in the transmission. And last limitation is Modbus protocol itself provides no security against unauthorized commands or interception of the data. This is the objects of the Modbus. So this table shows the object types provided by the Modbus slave device to a Modbus master device. The first type is the object type is the coil. We have the read-write access to the coil. Size is 1 bit and the address space is from 1 to 9999. The discrete input, the access is read-only. Size is 1 bit and the address space 10001 to 19999. For the input register, we have only the read only access to this. Size 16 bit. The address range 30001 to 39999, and the last object type is holding register. Access is both read and write, and the size is 16 bit and the address space to holding register 40001 to 49999. There are the different protocol versions for this Modbus in the market. The first protocol version here is Modbus RTU. This is used in serial communication and makes use of a compact and the binary representation of the data for protocol communication. Second is Modbus ASCII. This is used in serial communication and makes use of ASCII characters for protocol communication. Third is Modbus TCP/IP or Modbus TCP protocol. This is a Modbus variant used for the communication over TCP/IP network connecting over a port 502. It does not require a checksum calculation as lower layers already provide the checksum protection. Then next protocol is Modbus over TCP/IP or Modbus over TCP or Modbus RTU/IP. This is a Modbus variant that differs from the Modbus TCP in that checksum is included in the payload as the Modbus RTU. Next version is Modbus over UDP. So similar to TCP/IP, this is the other version of the Modbus to communicate using the UDP protocol over the IP network. And the latest one is the Modbus Plus. This is a proprietary to Schneider Electric, and unlike the other variants, it supports the peer-to-peer communication between the multiple masters. But it requires the dedicated coprocessor to handle the fast HDLC link token rotations. It uses twisted pair at a 1 megabits per second speed and includes transformer isolation at the each node. Let us discuss the Modbus RTU mode in detail. So the RTU mode, when controllers are set up to communicate on a Modbus network using the remote terminal units mode, each 8-bit byte in a message contains 2 4-bit hexadecimal characters. And the main advantages of this mode is that its greater character density allows better data throughput that ASCII for the same baud rate, and each message must be transmitted in a continuous stream. This is the example of a coding system where 8-bit binary is represented by the hexadecimal, that is 0 to 9, and A to F representation. 2 hexadecimal characters contained in each 8-bit field of the message. There is a 1 start bit, 8 data bits, and 1 bit for even and odd parity, and 1 stop bit if the parity is used, 2 bits, and if no parity. Then last is the error check field, and the last code is cycle redundancy check, CRC. This is the RTU framing where we have the starting character, then 8-bit the address of slave, then the function code that is of 8-bit, then data 16-bit for the CRC, and end bit. So here the address field of a message frame containing 2 characters in case of a ASCII and 8 bits in case of RTU mode. The individual slave devices are assigned address in the range of 1 to 247. The second is the function field code. The function code field tells the addressed slave what function to perform, where we have the following functions. If the function code is 01, it means the read coil status, 02 for read input status, 03 for read holding registers, 0 for read input registers, 05 for write single coil, 06 to write single register, 15 to write the multiple coils, and 16 to write the multiple registers. The data field contains the requested or send data, and the content of the error check field is the CRC, that is of the 16-bit. This is the RTU framing example for function 01 hex to read the coil, where the header is none in case of a RTU. Slave address is 04, function 01, the starting address, that is a higher byte is 00 and the lower byte 0A. This will become the address of the coil. This is a quantity of the coil to read or write. Coil high means the highest byte of the address, and the lowest means the lowest byte of the address. And here the error check lower, that is of 16-bit, and there is a trailer, that is a none, and the total byte 8. If we are talking about the ASCII in this mode, then the header is the colon. Slave address is ASCII code 0 and ASCII code for 4. Other things are remaining same, and here in case of a ASCII character, the response will becomes of 17 bytes. Since this is a read coil address and we are going to read only the 1 byte there, then the response is like this. First, slave is going to respond the slave address, its function code, byte counts, and the data in the bytes, that is from coils 7 to 10 and 27 to 20, and the error check lower B3 and error check high 50, and trailer none, and total bytes 7. But the response in case of ASCII character will becomes 15. So in case of the RTU hex code, we can transfer the data between the master and slave, or request the data from slave to master with the less number of bytes communication over the network. But if we are using the Modbus ASCII format, then the data density is going to be increased. So thank you for watching this session.